What's up, everybody? This is the Maximum Overdrive third gear. I am Maximum Black, aka the Urban Black Knight. I want to talk to you a little bit about domestic violence. You know, it's an ugly conversation to have, but it's real. And we need to draw some attention to it. There is a lot of spousal abuse going on out here, even in cyberspace. You know, now, what is domestic violence? Okay. Domestic violence is hold on one second. How you doing, Belle? Domestic violence is violent or aggressive behavior within the home involving the violent abuse of a spouse or partner. That is the definition of domestic violence. And there's patterns of this domestic violence. And a lot of women, for some reason or another, can't see some of these patterns. You see, when you're in love with someone, you can become blinded and not see certain things about these people. You know, one of the things that abusive people do is they threaten to hurt you or other people you care about. They either hit, kick, punch, push, choke, or use some kind of physical force against you. They criticize or blame you for everything that goes wrong. They humiliate you in front of other people. They try to control your access to money. They also try to control your decision making in the relationship. They also try to control your time and actions. They put you down all the time. They call you names. They make you feel like you're crazy. They destroy your property or abuse your pets. They also threaten to hurt you or commit suicide if you leave. They also try to force or coerce you to have sex when you don't want to. These are all of the telltale signs of an abusive partner. Now, it's not easy to deal with these kinds of people if you've had experience with women who've been battered. Many of them were terrified of their abusers. One of the common things that happen with a lot of women is that they become so terrified of their abuser that if you try to go over there to get them out of that situation, they will often jump in front of the abuser and protect the abuser from you, even though they're the ones who are in grave danger from the abuser. And the reason why a lot of them do this is because they're terrified of what's going to happen to them when you leave, because then they will be alone again with the abuser. And it's hard to recognize this sometimes. Some women conceal it very well because they're terrified. But some you can see it because they have bruises, marks all over their body, and you can pretty much tell that they're being abused. Domestic violence is something that is dangerous to the lives of the people who are in these kind of abusive relationships. And it's not easy for them to just get out because there are a lot of factors that come into play that you don't see, especially fear. Fear is a huge factor, particularly when it comes down to women. A woman can become so afraid and frightened that she will simply believe that she is safe just by staying there, because if she tries to leave, the abuse will become worse. It's very important that when we see these types of signs in a woman, that we try to get her some help. There are signs of abusive people all over the place. Even on YouTube, you have some YouTubers who have been abusive to their wife live on video. Now, why something isn't being done about it, I have no idea. There are a lot of factors involved with that too, because you don't know where the person lives, so you can't call the proper authorities. In domestic violence claims the lives of many women simply because they're stuck in so much fear that they cannot get out of the relationship until it's too late. Now, we see many abusive people all day, every day. People are abusive in many ways. But one thing we tend not to pay attention to is the ones who are abusive to their spouse. Now, it's not just men. Women can be abusive too. But it's commonly associated with men, and these men are usually mentally and emotionally unbalanced. There are YouTubers online who fit this criteria. I'm sure you've seen some of them. I've seen some of them myself. Saying crazy things, stuck in some kind of mental loop to where they constantly say the same thing over and over and over again, day in and day out. Tells themselves jokes and laughs at their own jokes. These are the signs of mental deterioration. And these people can become extremely violent at any moment. There's no rhyme or reason to it. They can just, out of nowhere. For example, if the wife was to disagree with such an abusive husband about any particular topic, he may lose it and become extremely violent in that split second. So domestic violence is something that we have to bring more awareness to. Yeah, Belle, there's a lot of tragic stories like that. Belle says she had a friend in high school who got killed by her boyfriend, and he killed himself. We didn't even know he was abusing her. Only some family members there. But see, that's the problem. You see, when family members know, they have to do something. And it's hard sometimes because when the family goes over there to deal with the abuser, the woman often gets in front of the abuser and protects him. And the reason that is because she's terrified of what's going to happen when the family leaves. You see, I think one of the biggest mistakes is, that when you go and get the abuser, we don't remove the woman from that area. So she has to be removed out of the area, period, so she can feel safe. Right, and so she has to be removed from the situation. If she's left there, she will protect the abuser because she is afraid of him. Understand something, if you leave her there, she still has to live with him. So the best thing is to get her out of that situation and protect her from the abuser. Because if she feels in any way that the abuser can come after her, she won't leave. And she would actually jump in front of the abuser to protect him, to keep him from attacking her when you leave. I know plenty of people who've gone through this with their family members, you know, mostly sisters and stuff like that. And when you have abuse, it's like I said, one of the things too, right, is that here's another telltale sign, right? Here's it is, right? They humiliate the person in front of other people. You know, that's one of the signs. Really humiliating the spouse in front of other people and threatening to hurt the spouse, threatening to hurt that person and other people. And they kick, they hit, they punch, they push or choke or use some kind of physical force. See, physical force can also be pushing someone down. Okay? And so if you push someone down, that is physical force. That counts as abuse. And they also try to control the decision making of the person. So if one is, say, asking a question like, honey, have I ever put my hands on you? And before she can speak, that person is cut off, right? And basically told what to say, like, don't you dare say this, don't you dare say that. You see, that's all abuse. You see, when that happens, that means the woman is frightened of the abuser. So domestic violence is something that we have to really take seriously. People's lives are at stake. This is how some women end up in a really, really, really bad situation, such as getting beat to the point of where they're no longer recognizable, being put in the comas, even death. Some of them are actually beaten to death by their abuser. And this is sad. This is something that we have to start getting on our radar, especially when we see abusers who use social media. We need to call it out, get it to the proper authorities. If you see people online abusing their spouses, we should try to contact the proper authorities. No woman should have to go through that, no man either, because some men get abused too. Believe it or not, there are some psycho women out there that abuse their husbands. But there are more men who abuse their wives than there are women who abuse their husbands. Not to say one is better than the other. Abuse is still abuse. So we have to report it no matter who's doing it. If you feel that the woman is being abusive to the male and that his life may be in danger, report it. If you feel that the woman is being abused and you feel her life is being in danger, then you report it. But we have to start reporting these people, especially if we see them in social media. Over the last couple of days, I've seen some pretty crazy things from people on social media. A lot of people on social media are extremely abusive. And we see this on video and we don't pay any attention to it because we look at it like, well, it's just YouTube. No, that person's life is in danger. It's not just YouTube. Exactly. You know, exactly, Hassan Burke. Has to be addressed. And like I said, we watch this stuff play out, even on social media. You know, we have our minds thinking that YouTube is just entertainment. But when we watch some type of abuse play out on social media, we don't realize that that person's life is in danger. And I'm going to tell you something. For a particular person to carry out abuse, right, live on any kind of social media platform, that person is extremely mentally unbalanced because they don't even care where he's being seen. So that tells you the degree of mental, of how unbalanced that person's mind is. And so that means that the spouse he or she is with is in extreme danger. Think about that for a second. You know, good morning, Poetic House. Think about that for a second. When a person is that psychotic to where they're willing to display abuse of their spouse live on video in front of thousands of people who are watching on social media. So that means that the person that they're doing this to, he or his or her life is in extreme danger. And we've gotten to the point where we're so used to seeing entertainment that it doesn't ring a bell with us to call the authorities or do anything about it. You know, and that's the sad part of us. We get so caught up in entertainment that we forget that things go on in real life sometimes. But I wanted to just talk about domestic violence because I know that people who've gone through this. Good morning. And so, yeah, I think that it's something that needs to be addressed and not put on the back burner. We don't talk about it enough, and people's lives are in danger. And like I said, when I know. I'll be right back. I have a phone call to make. I'll be right back in 5. Sorry about that, guys. I'm back. I had a phone call. Forgive me. But yeah, so let's continue. Hey, Psychopath, you still in the room? Because I would love for you to come up. Now, if anybody, well, I'd love to have a conversation with anyone about domestic violence. But here's the thing. When you do it, we don't say anybody's name. Okay? Nobody's name is allowed to be mentioned because we don't want no flagging of the channel. We don't want nobody to say that we're talking about them or whatever. Okay? You can say what you want to say, just don't put a name to it. No names. Okay? But I would love to have a serious conversation with people about domestic violence. There's a reason why I'm doing this. I want to bring awareness to this. So let me give out the link here. We don't want to put no names. Remember, no names. We can come up here, y'all can yackle and cackle all you want about domestic violence, but no name dropping. No names. We're not attaching any names. Okay. There's the link. And yes, you know, domestic violence is real. Many women lose their lives, you know, and it's signs that we don't even pay attention to. You know, like, for example, one of the signs that, you know, we often miss and don't pay no mind to is humiliation. Okay, when one spouse is humiliating the other in front of other people. That is serious. And we don't pay no mind to that. We see that all the time, right? And we don't think nothing of it. So if a woman is with an abusive man, or if a man is with an abusive woman and they're being berated in front of everyone, we tend to not pay that no mind. We probably say, oh man, he's an asshole, or she's an asshole. No. That is one of the signs of domestic violence, abuse. Hold on one second. I just gotta. Call. Hold on one second. So I'm a little busy. I also run my own business too. So I want to bring some awareness to this. And you know what? We have people here on social media, you know, who I've seen are extremely abusive to their wives, their husbands. I'm sorry, I'm being this well. Like I said, I run a business too, so. Oh yeah, shout out to the Earthen Nation. All y'all know I have my own trucking business, so I'm going to be expanding my trucking business soon, adding a few more trucks, and I'm going to be looking to employ some of my Earthen Nation members. So I'll let you know when that is possible. Okay. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying. Hold on one second. I'm sorry, I'm being interrupted by phone calls. Hold on one second, people. I'm sorry about that. Hey, somebody jump up here real quick. Hold on. I know. Man, I'm sorry. I'm getting so many calls right now. Man, I think I've. Hey, Belle. Hey, Belle. Hassan, you can come on up too, man. OG. Hey, Belle, how are you? Well, I can't hear you. Your mic is
Yeah, I'm here.
okay. There you go. Yeah, Val. You know, domestic violence is real. Just give me 1 second because I gotta. I'm bit. Like I said, I also run my own business. So give me 1 second. I'm being bombarded right now with phone calls. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Okay. They got Hassan
All
coming
right,
up
I'll be on.
too in a minute. All right. So let me get back to. Let me get back to my. Man, I can't believe I just did. What's going on, Green Lady? Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry about that, Bill. I had to take care of some business real quick, but I'm back. All right, everybody. I'm sorry about that. I had to handle some business. I am a working man with my own business, so I had to take care of some white man trying to hold me back. So let me start. Shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson. I ain't gonna take his line. I tell you about O'Shea Duke, man. I don't agree with a lot of those panels, but I give O'Shea Duke Jackson his credit, man. He sure know how to get it going over there. So shout out to O'Shea Duke Jackson, respecting his business acumen over there. But anyway, yeah. No, I'm back. I had to take care of something. But yeah, Belle, you there? I think Belle is still.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm just sitting at my. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yes. I can hear you, Belle.
Okay.
Yeah, Belle.
I have bad signal.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, your signal going in and out. Yeah, your signal going in and out, Belle.
What I was going to say was I don't have personal experience, myself with domestic violence, but I have I have 5 sisters total, and I have 1, 2, and each were on both sides. I had a sister that experienced it herself, and we had a sister that was so. Yeah, it happens on both sides. It's a sad
Wow, you go in and out pretty bad, Belle.
situation, and you're right. The person does have to be taken
she's going. Yeah, Belle, your connection, you're going in and out.
Outside.
Yeah, your connection is pretty bad. You're breaking up a lot.
All right, let me step outside.
Yeah, you keep breaking up.
Outside a second.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to try to step out where I can get a better signal.
Okay, you sounded good there.
Yeah, I was.
Wow, yeah, your signal is really bad.
And that experiencing sisters, and I had guys abused, and then I had one sister that was the aggressor. So it happens to both. It happens to men and women, and it's a sad situation, and because it won't get any.
Shout out to the First Lady of the Earth Nation. She is simply unique. She is officially the mother of the Earth Nation. She is the First Lady. And the Earth Nation is starting to build pretty strong. We're doing some good things. We're going to launch this thing pretty hard next year in January, which is around the corner. So look out. We will be launching the Earth Nation channel. So, if verbal assassin it may end up hosting this channel while I do the Earth Nation channel. So that may come to fruition. We're hoping that might be a possibility because she's a great person. And, I got mad love for her and respect for her. But yeah, so Belle, because I have 5 sisters myself and 4 other brothers. And I've seen this because, you know, one of my sisters had an abuser. And one of the problems was, can you hear me, Belle? Okay, hold on, we'll
Yes,
see
I
if
can hear
Belle.
you.
Right. And one of the problems was she would jump in front of him and protect him. She would jump in front of him and protect him. When we go over there to beat us behind, she would jump in front of him to protect him. And the reason why, once we finally got her out of that abusive relationship before he killed her, one of the things that she told us, the reason why she protected him is because she was afraid of what he was going to do to her when we all went back home and left her alone there with him. That was the reason why she protected him. She thought if she jumped in front of him to protect him, he wouldn't beat her or beat on her when we left. And she's not the only woman that felt that way. You know, when we did some work with women who were battered and stuff like that, a lot of them had a similar story. They would protect the abuser because when the people who came to help them leave, they were still there with the abuser that they had to live with, right? And so he would become violent and agitated that she brought someone there, and then he would beat on her again. You know, a lot of battered women have this story, and we figured out a situation. Well, when you go to these situations, you have to remove the woman from that place altogether and protect her. Once she realizes that she has protection, then she'll open up and tell you everything that he's doing and stuff like that. And then you can get the proper authorities to take care of him. But she has to be removed from the situation first. If she's not removed, if you can't remove her, then most likely she's going to protect the abuser, because if you leave, she still has to live with that person. And that person will become extremely violent if she tries to call help. You there, Val? The panel is open, everybody. We can come up here. And, you know, we're talking about domestic violence for a little bit. Put the panel out again. Remember, we're not saying anybody's name. We're just talking about domestic violence and how it occurs, and you know, some of the signs, you know, and things like that. We're not dropping any names. Not sure what's going on with Belle's connection. I think her connection is, yeah. She get a connection, right? She'll come back up. So anybody's welcome to come on up. If you know anybody who's been through this type of abuse, let's come up here and talk about it and bring some awareness to it. You know, it's probably something that we don't pay attention to. And even here on cyberspace, there are people being abused right in front of our eyes, live on video. And because we're so used to looking at entertainment, you know, we may not take it seriously. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Exactly, Beige. There's a lot of factors in domestic violence situations, including mental and emotional. Yes, 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 especially the mental and emotional, especially that. You can see that with a lot of people on YouTube. You can see how crazy some people are on YouTube, and you can just imagine what they are to their spouses in real life. I mean, come on, how many times we've witnessed people become unhinged on social media and they're married? Kind of makes you wonder what their spouse is going through. And so, you know, that's pretty much what prompted me to do this video. You know, going through a lot of videos on YouTube and seeing some of the abuse that we may be taking for granted. We may be thinking that we're watching entertainment, but we don't even realize that the person's life is in danger. People being assaulted on videos right in front of us. You know, and we're not taking it seriously. If a woman gets assaulted by her spouse live on a video stream, and we're sitting there and we're thinking, oh, it's just entertainment. No, that woman's life is in danger. And you know, and the sad part about it is when the person shows mental unstableness, that's even worse. Especially if you can see, if you have a history of this person coming unhinged, you know, live on social media, right? That tells you right there that this person may be a abuser of his or her spouse. Because one of the signs is also public humiliation. So when you humiliate people in front of other people, when you humiliate your spouse in front of other people, that is a sign of domestic violence, domestic abuse. And we don't pay no attention to that. Like, how many of us have seen people demean their wives or demean their husbands right in front of us, and we don't think anything of it? You know, we just say, oh, that person's being an asshole. Or you know, he or she is being an asshole. No, he or she is being abusive to his or her spouse. And we tend to not focus on that because we're watching social media and we think it's just entertainment. And when people are used to entertaining people for a living, they're very clever at disguising their real intent, or they can talk their way out of it. You see, a lot of times when we follow people on social media, we tend to believe what they say or give them the benefit of the doubt because we like them, but we have to stop doing that and allow ourselves to see the truth about what this person is showing us all. If this person is showing us that he or she is mentally unstable, we should pretty much take it for what it really is. When we don't pay attention to these signs, right? And we don't call the proper authorities, or at least call the authorities to have them look into it, see if there's anything going on. You know, we don't do these people we don't do them any favors by not contacting the proper authorities. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah, so the link is open, and we're talking about domestic violence today. And again, this video was prompted by, I was just searching the internet, you know, and looking at different videos and watching different things about spousal abuse and watching crazy people online do things to their wives, you know, do things to their husbands. And some of these, you know, speaking of that, some of these popular YouTubers, you know, in my opinion, are insane. And we don't think nothing of it because we think it's just entertainment. But some of these YouTubers are pretty much off their rocker. And we think it's funny. And it's not funny, especially if they're married. You think about this. If they're off their rocker in front of all of us, what do you think is going on behind closed doors with their spouse? Just think about that for a second. We're watching, these people do these videos and they're going crazy. They're losing their mind. They're talking about doing this and that to people. saying all of these wild and crazy things and pretty much losing it on air in front of everyone. And we tend to take that as entertainment. We don't think that the person may have some mental issue. Because you think about it, most of these YouTubers who act like that on YouTube, this is not the actions of a person in their right state of mind. You know, especially when they say that, like, if you got a particular YouTuber that says the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over again, especially if what that person is saying isn't true, and we know it isn't true, but they're saying it over and over again and telling us that it is true. Or we see them do something in front of all of our eyes, and they turn around and say they didn't do it, or we didn't see what we thought we see. These are people who are mentally unbalanced. And the sad part about it is many of them are married. And you can see them online just simply become unhinged right before our eyes. I mean, we've all seen this. We've all seen them. You know, we just don't think anything of it because many of us pass YouTube or social media off as a form of entertainment when we don't realize how mentally unbalanced many of these people truly are. And think about this. If they're doing that in front of all of us, again, imagine what they're doing to their spouses when they turn off YouTube. I mean, you got some crackpot who has lost his or her mind on YouTube, have gone completely off the deep end on YouTube. Imagine what they may be doing to their spouses. Imagine what their spouses may be going through. And think about this, if they're willing to show us that, right? Then that means that they don't care how it looks, right? So that tells you right there that they're not in their right state of mind. Because if you're doing something abusive to your spouse live on a YouTube stream, that means you don't give a damn about what anyone says or thinks. So you're mentally unbalanced just on that alone. So why wouldn't you think that that person's spouse isn't in danger? Well, let me take a look and see if there's anybody in the green room. Again, here's the link if you want to come up and kick it with me and have this conversation about domestic violence. This is a short stream that I'm doing right now. I probably won't go live again until Tuesday or Wednesday night. You know, I'm going to do a Christmas Eve show. Right now, I just thought that we could sit up here and talk about domestic violence. I wanted to bring some more awareness to it because I've had family members who've gone through it. You know, I have friends who've gone through it. You know, some of us have had people that we know lose their lives through domestic violence. You hear what I'm saying? So it's really a problem. It's a big problem. And it's not something that you can cure. All you can do is bring awareness to it and try to do something about it whenever we recognize that it's happening. I mean, we owe it to these people to try to do something, call the authorities or something. Imagine what those spouses may be going through because they're terrified. They're terrified of their abuser. Hold on one second. Let me check my. This is the Maximum Overdrive. I am Maximum Black, aka the Urban Black Knight. We're talking about domestic violence. Shout out to my people, strong peoples in the chat room. Bell, First Lady Unique, Psychopatheus was in here. Shout out to all the y'all. Yeah. So it's something that I wanted to draw attention to so that people can be aware of what we see, even online, even on social media. Just be alert of some of the things that you see on social media. A lot of the telltale signs is public abuse, public humiliation. Even if it's on a live stream, it's still humiliation, it's still abuse. And if we witness people doing this to their spouses, we should try to contact the proper authorities, because that person's spouse that person's spouse life may be in danger. Usually around this time, the holidays, the domestic violence numbers tend to go up around the holidays, because there's a lot of things that incite it. Money is a big factor too. Finances, it's a big factor too. Could be going through hard times. This can get people upset. And people who are mentally unbalanced, the worst thing you can do is get them upset because they're mentally unbalanced. Even though we look at these people and we say, well, why are they picking on someone that is weaker? Well, it's not even about that. They're just mentally out of touch with reality. To them, their reality is quite different from ours. The reality that they're in, right? They don't carry the same set of rules of the reality that the rest of us live in. So they just simply don't see it that way. They just see a person that they can act out on, a person that they can terrify. And it kills me too. I hate it because you see these types of people and you see their spouses are usually small in stature. It's usually a woman. And you see this bully abusing her live on live streams, even on social media, abusing her. And you're like, man, this guy's a big old bully. She's terrified of him. Right, there is a National Domestic Abuse Hotline. Thank you, First Lady. Let me see. Oh, wow, I actually got 3 dislikes. That's rare for me. Imagine someone, right, putting the thumbs down on domestic violence. That tells you right there how twisted people are. Somebody actually put 3 thumbs down on domestic violence. So what is that telling you about the people that we're dealing with? If that isn't crazy right there, I have no idea what is. We're talking about domestic violence and helping victims of domestic violence, and someone puts a thumbs down. Are you kidding me? That's it right there in a nutshell. That tells you the type of people that are walking around out here that are mentally unstable. I actually got 3 thumbs down on a topic of domestic violence. I bet you I know exactly who all 3 of the people are. Well, I'm not going to say any names. Again, we're not saying any names here. We're just talking about domestic violence, which we have every right to do. We're not accusing anyone of anything. We're not dropping any names. We're just talking about domestic violence. Exactly, Belle. That's exactly what I'm talking about. There are a lot of people on YouTube who are extremely abusive by the way they speak. Right. Some of them are men who want to abuse women. Yes, I've seen this too. I've seen this too. You're absolutely right. I don't see it so much for the women, but I see it a lot with the men on YouTube. It's definitely a lot more on the man side than it is the female side. There are a lot of abusive men online. Heck, they attack my channel, because they hate women. They've come to this channel and try to tear this channel down because they hate women. How's that for abusive? They've even attacked ladies' night. Okay? Now the people who put the thumbs down, right, against domestic violence are the people who condone domestic violence. See, most of these are probably people who condone beating spouses, beating on their spouses, abusing their spouses. Who in their right mind puts a thumbs down on talking about bringing awareness to domestic violence? That tells you right there the kind of people that we're dealing with. Oh, I got somebody in the, what's going on, First Lady? First Lady of the, let's all welcome the First Lady of the Earth Nation, Miss Simply Unique. What's going on, First Lady? Nika, you there? Okay, she's got to get her microphone together. Yeah.
What's going on, Max? Hello to everyone in the chat.
What's going on, First Lady? How are you?
I'm good. I just wanted to hop up real quick. I'm about to head out and hop on the road for the holiday. So just wanted to stop by and say hello to everybody. But I just wanted to say real quick about the whole domestic abuse situation. Because that's definitely a serious subject, and it's something we definitely should talk about. Because it not only impacts, like you said, the person that's being abused, but it impacts everyone around them, their family members, the children, if they have any. And I think that's the biggest thing that's overlooked, is the impact that an abusive relationship has on children.
I think it's a topic that Ladies' Night should tackle too. Domestic abuse. I think it'd be a brilliant topic that we can get more people involved and expound on it even further. What's chipping me out is I actually have 3 thumbs down. Are you kidding me?
Right. Now, I've been noticing that on the last few videos. It's been at least 3 thumbs down. So it must be the same person. It's either one person is coming under different names and thumbing down under the troll accounts, or it's the same 3 people. I know on one of the shows we had where we had quite a few people watching, it was like 10 thumbs down. No, it was more than that. The night all those red pill dudes came in here trolling with those names. So every time a new name came in, they thumbed down a video. Right. So it was like 15 thumbs down on that video.
Yes, when we got attacked by the red pillars. And, but here's my thing, though. We're doing a topic that's worthwhile that we should bring awareness to, like domestic violence. You putting your thumbs down on domestic violence. What is wrong with you?
Right. And that's the sick, insidious nature that YouTube is taking on, where people just get so angry and so upset with you. They don't care what you're talking about. They're just gonna come thumbs down your video. Like,
like, are you insane? We're talking about domestic violence. Wow. And you know what? Even here on YouTube, I've seen people completely become unhinged on YouTube. And I can only imagine what their spouses may be dealing with. Like I said, I have 5 sisters. We didn't even know my one sister was being abused until she started showing up with black eyes and whatnot. But he was abusing her long before then. And when we talked to her, when we finally got her out of that situation, she told us that it started slightly with, yo, what's going on? The goat's in the house. Taz exclusive, everybody from the B1 Network. Taz over there ripping motherfuckers. Anyway, yo, Taz, man, you've been off the hook lately, bro. You over there ripping motherfuckers. But anyway, yeah, so domestic violence. When she told us, when we finally got her out of the situation, one of the things she told us that it started with simple abuse, verbal abuse.
Right.
He started just saying little small things or whatever, and then it started growing. Like, he would say things in front of other people. He would put her down, and then gradually it ramped up to him till he started putting his hands on her. Okay. Because all my sisters are very, very docile women. They all been raised to be wives and stuff like that. We all old school, right? And so he started putting his hands on her. And then it got to the point where he started just beating on her outright. And when she would call us to come over there and we go be ready to whoop his ass, she would jump in front of him. And that would drive us crazy. Like, what are you protecting him for? But you see, we didn't know at the time. See, it never dawned on us at the time that when we left, she had to still live with him. Okay? So that's why she was actually protecting him. She was more afraid of us leaving than anything else. So when we would leave, he would beat her up to, oh, you're going to bring your family around here, whatever, and he would beat her some more. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until we finally got removed till we went over there one day and we just snatched her out of there. Okay? If you're coming with us, we're not taking no for an answer. And we brought her home and we protected her. And that's when we were able to deal with him and get the proper authorities on him and get her some psychological help. Even to the day, she's not right. And she don't trust men.
Right.
Because, okay. And she broke down and told us all the things that happened. She said the reason why she jumped in front of him because she was afraid of what he was going to do to her when we left. And we finally picked up on that. We just went up there one day and just snatched her out of there. And in front of her, had him to do anything.
That's the whole methodology behind abuse, whether it's molestation or domestic violence. That's how they do it. They groom you into accepting the abuse. So they don't just, most times they don't just start out outright like full force with the abuse. They ramp it, they start with little things first and get you acclimated to it.
Right.
And it progresses from there.
I've seen people on YouTube freak out. I mean, just absolutely lose it, become unhinged mentally and emotionally on YouTube, right? And these people, are married. So if you abuse your wife live on a live stream, right? Or your husband on a live stream, then what are you doing in real life? We see some shit like that take place live on the stream. Why should we think that your wife isn't terrified of you? Why shouldn't we think that you're doing these things to her in real life? My older sister, boyfriend pushed her down when she was pregnant. Me and my baby sister rolled up over there real quick with the bats and we left. He was passed out by a stop sign. Yeah. Now, Belle, did she try to protect him when y'all got over there? Did she try to protect him? Did she jump in front of him? But that's what was wrong with my sister, She used to jump in front of him and protect him. But that's only because she was afraid of him. And a lot of battered women have that same story. They protect their spouses because they're afraid of what they're going to do when you leave, because when you leave, they still got to live with that person. Wow, he pushed her down while she was pregnant? That's double crazy. That's double crazy right there. That's insane. Yeah, he should have been locked up. So yeah, Nika, you still there, or you? Oh, she's on mute.
Yeah, I'm still here. Just give me one.
Okay. Yeah, come on up, y'all. Bell, you still got a bad connection? This is the Maximum Overdrive 3G. I am Maximum Black, aka the Urban Black Knight. We're sitting up here today talking to the people about domestic violence, trying to bring some awareness to domestic violence. And it don't just happen in real life. It also happens on social media, people. We have to start paying attention to crazy people on social media who may be abusing their spouses. And again, this is not just men. Women can be abusers as well. You know, we're not singling anybody out. We're just talking about domestic violence, period.
Second. All right, I'm back, Max.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I've also had a family situation where my aunt was being abused. Now that she was married to her husband for probably 30 years. And we didn't know he was abusing her. They were a military family. And that happens a lot too. You know, guys deal with the PTSD of being in the military.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times that ends up in a lot of domestic violence.
You know, the thing about PTSD, right? There's a lot of things that people don't know about postpartum depression. Now I can't even pronounce it right now. But
post-traumatic stress disorder.
Yeah, post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of people, you see, a lot of them, believe it or not, aren't really violent. You see, post-traumatic stress syndrome, in a lot of cases, has to be triggered. And usually the person, right, who is going through that is very, very wind down and calm and don't like to get into confrontations. Because most people with PSD, right, they know they have it, and they tend to stay away from violent situations. Many of them have become very docile in life, okay, because they understand that they have this problem, right? And they tend to be quiet and stay to themselves. And many of them don't even take on spouses because of it. Okay, some of them who have more severe cases, many of them live alone. You know, so sometimes it's overblown about PTSD, right? Because many of these ex-soldiers, because usually it happens from ex-military, many of them live quiet lives and really aren't abusive. Some of them are, but a lot of them are just quiet and live alone because they feel that they don't want to be around someone because they either can't control it or they don't have it under control. But some of them have it under control and they live very normal and quiet lives and they stay away from confrontation. They don't want to have no involvement with any kind of confrontation whatsoever. And it's not to the point to where they become so crazy. That's really a small number to where they're uncontrollable. And the military usually have good programs for these guys. And most ex-military who have PSD or PTSD, they can live functional in society without bothering anyone because it's not something to where they just overall become crazy and psycho out of nowhere. Now, some of them are really bad.
Right, no.
Okay? Right. Now, some of them are really bad.
No, I think
right?
this was.
Uh-huh. Yeah, now some of them are really bad.
I think in their case, what happened is. No, I was going to say what happened with them was they were married prior to him going into the military. They got married pretty young. And then he enlisted and, you know, they traveled together. And I think that's one of those extreme cases. Like you said, most of them do tend to stay away. They
tend to stay away. and they live quiet lives, and they are functional. Many of them are married and live happy lives. You know, it's not like you see, the myth is, right, because a person been in the military and they come out, they're all fucked up. That's a myth.
No,
a lot of people go,
that's not the case.
Right. A lot of people go to the military and come out fine. In order to have post-traumatic stress, you have to be under extreme duress. Usually it happens to combat veterans. You know, people who are in live gunfights, firefights all the time, going on rescue missions and stuff like that. It usually happens to them. But most people in the military don't really engage in combat like that. Okay, so they don't come out all fucked up. You know what I'm saying? So that's a myth too. But the ones who do have it,
right? No, and he was. My uncle in particular, he was a combat veteran. He
okay, that's different. Yeah, that's different because they're usually the ones who end up with it because they are exposed to a very high stress, life and death environment, and yeah, that can send you a little to the left. People are shooting at you all the time. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and a lot of it is playbacks of combat. It usually don't have anything to do with abusing another person. It's just a playback in their mind of a very stressful and extreme time to where they were fighting for them lives. And some of them wake up in cold sweats and, you know, but they don't just start abusing people. Okay, now some of them can snap. Don't get me wrong. There are cases where they can snap. I'm not saying that they won't snap. But usually they're not, you know, being abusive and being violent. Many of them are very secluded, very quiet, and live like hermits because they don't want to be around people because they realize that they have this condition, and to them, it's better for them to just be by themselves. And some of them have girlfriends, and they don't never abuse their girlfriends. They don't never do any of that. Okay, go ahead, Neat.
So yeah, like I said, in their situation, I mean, I'm pretty sure there were other factors. There were other factors that contributed to it, not just the PTSD, but we all as a family noticed a big difference once he came back from Desert Storm. And according to what they've since divorced after 30-something years of marriage. So, you know, that's when everything came out that, you know, it was an abusive situation. We never knew.
Mm-hmm.
They kept it under wraps, them and the kids. So my cousins never even said, you know, because normally the kids will try to tell somebody or show signs, but no, and that's a big issue with abuse too, is some people learn how to hide it so well that you would never know.
One second here.
But there's so many levels to abuse. I mean,
Right. And so, yeah, let me say this. I'm glad you brought this up because being ex-military, right? Some of us do, you know, many of us do suffer from PTSD, right? But you see, PTSD is a condition, okay, that persists mentally and emotionally under extreme stress, okay? And it occurs as a result of either injury or severe psychological shock, you know, that typically involves like some kind of disturbance in the sleep, you know, and constant vivid recall. That's what I said, you know, sometimes they play back things in their mind when they were under extreme duress and fighting for their life, okay? And so basically they usually have like a dull response to the outside world. They're really not violent as people think they are. You know, there's a lot of myths out there where people have taken the wrong definition of PTSD, and because somebody said, "Oh, well, he's crazy" or whatever, no, it's not like that. Usually, they're not very violent. They're very quiet, very docile. Okay, they're usually the opposite because they try to keep their minds as calm as possible because they don't want to experience, you know, visual playbacks in their mind. You understand what I'm saying? So they tend to stay away from stressful environments, and they try to live a peaceful life. Usually, many of them live very peaceful lives that are nonviolent, simply because they stay away from confrontations, and they don't want to be around any kind of confrontation whatsoever. They're always looking for somewhere peaceful to exist. You know, they're not looking to be violent or anything like that. Now, there are some extreme cases where some guys absolutely lose it. Okay, but that's not what people think it is. So
Right.
one day I'll do One day we'll do an in-depth show on PTSD and give people the real understanding of what it is and what happens to people, so they can really get a good understanding of it. Because a lot of people got the wrong definition, and they're just running their damn mouth. They think, okay, well, you got PTSD, some damn Kugelberg. No, that's not the case. Sometimes, yes, there are some extreme cases where they've become completely mentally unhinged, but usually people like that are in some kind of a home where they're being looked after 24/7. And then you have some who are under heavy medication. They wouldn't let somebody like that run around crazy. And usually when you have some who get away and they go off the hinge like that, usually something triggered it, and it permanently put them back in that fire zone, to where that video in their mind is constantly playing. So now they don't switch into a reality of a war zone. Okay. And that's pretty much what sets them off, and they go nuts and stuff like that. So it's not what a lot of people think it is. Are there some cases where they go crazy? Yes, there is, but those cases aren't as frequent as people think they are. Usually these guys live very quiet lives. They have families, and they live a very quiet existence that doesn't involve violence at all. Go ahead, Neek.
I was going to also say, but as you stated, not pertaining to military, but people that work in high stress jobs like the police, people that work in like emergency medical services. Studies have shown that with them, there is definitely a higher rate of domestic violence in people who have relationships and work in those type of jobs. Mostly that's in the pale people community. But studies have shown that in domestic violence situations, a lot of them work in those type of high stress.
Yeah, stress will tear you apart. People, if you are stressed out, it is very important that you go to a doctor or go to someone to get some help. Stress will tear you apart.
Right, because a lot of people don't know how to deal with those type of stresses. Yeah. They don't have an outlet for it, and then it becomes built up frustration, which turns into rage. And when a person is in a constant state of rage like that with no outlet, you know, the easiest targets are the people that's closest to you.
You know what helps out a lot? Hobbies. Like some guys who are under a lot of stress, they play video games, because video games keep them helps them with their stress levels.
Right, it keeps them mentally stimulated.
A lot of guys play video games, you know, to help them out with their stress. You know, because stress can lead you also into what is it? I forgot what it's called. Hold on a second. I forgot the condition where you feel sad all the time, or you feel hopeless all the time.
Depression.
Depression, exactly. Yeah,
it could lead to depression. It could lead to anxiety issues. It could lead to a whole lot of stuff, and it can also lead to physical health issues, high blood pressure, coronary disease, all that stuff. It comes from stress.
Exactly. And you know, this is why I always say, right, when I talk about relationships between Black men and Black women, right, it's that we have to, like, fellas, care for your woman, okay? Sometimes your woman is under stress too. It's not easy, even if your woman is a homemaker, okay, if she's dealing with children. it's not easy to run a household. Okay, we take it for granted because our wives are good at running households. Okay, and that she doesn't really complain or whatever. But man, it's not easy running a household, especially when you got 3 and 4 kids.
Right.
You know, that can be
That's
very
so
stressful.
true. Because
Yeah.
I stay at home, but I work from home. So I can do my work right from the house. But,
Mhm.
you know, I get these people when I tell them, well, I stay home with the kids. And then they, you know, they have this idea like I'm just chilling in the house all day. Like, no. Like my kids are into stuff. My daughter, one of my daughters, she does dance. She dances 5 days a week. Now my other daughter
Mhm.
does sports. She runs track. She plays field hockey. She plays basketball. She plays volleyball. So she's constantly in sports. My oldest son, well, he's graduated now, but he used to play football. Like you're constantly on the go.
Mhm.
You're not just chilling around the house all day. And people seem to have that kind of perception. Like, no, kids are a full-time job
Mhm.
and
But
I
you know,
homeschool. So,
that's another thing too. This is why I said before that Black people shouldn't be afraid of automation. Okay, automation is getting ready to take away a lot of these stressful jobs. You know, a lot of the tedious things that we do on some of these jobs, these dead-end jobs, are going away soon. They're going to automate a lot of these jobs, and that's better on the person's health. But what are we going to do? We'll learn how to do something else. There are plenty of other things that you can learn how to do where you can make money. You don't have to be stuck in a dead-end, high-stress job to where you're constantly overworked. Okay, you're doing damage to yourself in so many ways that you can't even imagine, especially to your mind. Your mind is taking a beating when you're in a high stress, dead end job the way you're living paycheck to paycheck,
right.
right? And you have to worry about paying your rent at the end of the month. And somebody has your financial destiny in their hands. You don't even control your own financial destiny. Man, that's a tremendous amount of stress to be under,
Yeah, that's a
in and
miserable
week out.
existence.
Right. You know, you know, I have my own trucking business, right? It's stressful driving trucks up and down the road. That's why we take so much time off. When we come off the road, we take a lot of time. I've been home now for a month, you know, a month and going on a month and a half now. I need that downtime.
Right. My uncles do trucking.
Hmm.
My grand uncles, and they do that too. They'll work for about a 6 month stretch and then take
Yeah,
3 months off.
yeah, you got to come down. You got to take some time off so you can get your mind right, and you know, you get back out there. Excuse me, I was putting my jacket on, and you know, get your mind right so you can get back out there, so you can be stable, go out there and do this kind of high stress work. You know, it's dangerous driving trucks and
Right.
you know, things on the road because you got bad weather to deal with. You got crazy people who don't know how to drive, and when you're driving a big monster like a 53-foot rig, man, if you make a wrong move or you lose control, it can be devastating. Lives can be lost. It can be absolutely devastating. And we got people on here who are jackals, who don't really have any regard for life, and to them everything is funny. They'll probably listen to this video and they'll probably laugh,
Right.
you know, because they have no regard for life. You know, we have jackals on YouTube who are like that, people who tell themselves jokes and crack up while they tell themselves jokes. You know, we have people who have extreme cases of narcissism who just don't have any regard for life. I mean, we see such individuals on a daily basis who have YouTube shows, and they're completely nuts, you know, and we think it's entertainment. You know, when these people are actually fucking crazy. I used to say that this is what I say. I wonder who the hell is in a nut house. Because we got this many crazy people out here running around on social media, and then in real life, who the hell is in a nut house? Who the fuck they got in there? Godzilla? I mean, what's even they got monsters in there or something? Because a lot of the motherfuckers on YouTube need to be in the damn nut house.
Right. That's very true.
I'm serious. Like, why the fuck are these motherfuckers in straitjackets? There's a particular YouTuber out here, so, you know, who, in my opinion, should be in a goddamn padded room in a fucking straitjacket.
Right, and that's another aspect that needs to be touched on, is because the mental health care in this country sucks. Like, it is very hard to get somebody, you know, that's a danger put away. Like where I live, we had this lady, she's clearly mentally ill.
Hold on one second. Let me address this comment. I'm sorry about that. Sorry about this, Bell. Bell says, according to psychologists, a lot of kids that grow up in the crime-ridden areas suffer from PTSD. I believe that too. Think about how the adults' life is affected. Absolutely right. And you know why they suffer from PTSD, Bell? It's because, like you said, the crime-ridden area, they're used to gunshots going off all the time. You see, when you're in a stressed environment like that, to where your life is constantly in danger, this is what can start the downward spiral to developing PTSD, because you're getting shock, psychological shock. You see what I'm saying? It's brought on by psychological shock. So when these kids are seeing people getting murdered and there's gunshots everywhere, that can cause psychological trauma. Yes, this can develop PTSD. It can make them think that they're in a live environment that is so dangerous that their life can be lost in a second. Yeah, that could bring on PTSD. That's true.
That brings on not only PTSD, but serious mental illness. It
exactly.
turns people into sociopaths because
right,
they start to
frightened all the time. Right. Life. Yeah, that's what happened to combat veterans. Okay, you know, they're in live firefights. They're going black op missions where they're constantly shooting for their life. You understand? And so when you see that and bullets are flying by you and they're making this whizzing sound, or you see them at night when they're red hot and they're leaving vapor trails and you can smell the gun smoke, man, that will throw you into a different reality. Okay, I mean, that will pretty much kick it over for you. And I'm not surprised that kids who grow up in crime-ridden areas where there's gunfire all the time and you're afraid to cross the street. Yeah, these kids are frightened. Psychologically, they're afraid. Yes, they can develop PTSD. Yeah, Nick. Yeah, absolutely, they can develop PTSD.
That's like for me. I grew up in the city in the 80s and 90s. So, you know, that was a war zone in New York City.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We had...
so you remember when the crack epidemic hit?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You remember when they blew away Eleanor Bumpurs?
I remember all that stuff.
Blew her away on live TV. Well, they executed this woman on live TV in front of everybody. Executed her. Cold blood.
And I had become so numb to people getting killed. Like,
yeah.
I remember being 7 years old and somebody got shot on the corner, and the paramedics were out there working on this guy who he was clearly dead. But we were just standing out there watching it like it was nothing. It was just like a crowd of people just watching it like, damn, like it wasn't even a big deal.
It's a shame where a child grows up in that environment and death becomes normalized to them. Like I said, I'm not a psychologist, so I'm not going to pretend that I know this and that, but I can only imagine how that affects. I know how it affected me growing up in the when the crack epidemics hit, and I saw families deteriorate overnight. You know, grandmothers killing their granddaughters. I mean, it was wild and crazy.
It was very crazy. It was.
Yeah.
I mean, from an adult perspective, and it was like I couldn't even imagine my children growing up in that type of environment now. And like
Eleanor Bumpurs. Yeah, I remember they executed this woman. You know, oh man, I can't believe it. Just well, Google and YouTube are acting crazy.
Yeah, I don't know what they're doing with all these changes, but I know they're putting a lot of heavy censorship on both YouTube and Google. It's stuff that you used to be able to look up on Google that won't come up anymore. You have to use a different search engine.
Let me see here. Eleanor. Shooting Eleanor Bumpurs. Okay. The shooting of Eleanor Bumpurs. Yeah. I'll put the link in it to the Wikipedia to where you guys can read up on what happened to this woman. We saw this. I put the link in the chat. You can see it yourself. We saw this play out live on TV. So they just executed this woman. This woman had a mental illness, right? That they used as an excuse to blow her away, like her life meant nothing. And that was the first live murder I seen on TV, play out on TV. And that was during the crack epidemic. Because during the crack epidemic, people was freaking out, losing their minds, shooting their babies, selling. There were women out there selling their babies. There was dudes out there selling their daughters just to get some crack. I mean, it was wild. The crack came through and spread like a forest fire. I mean, families deteriorated overnight. This is what finally fractured the Black family.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, this had nothing to do with welfare and the manning in the home. No.
Right.
The crack epidemic is what finally fractured and broke the foundation, completely broke the foundation of the Black family.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I always point out. I'm sorry, is that Hassan?
Oh, yeah, peace. How y'all doing? Good morning. Peace.
How you doing, Hassan? Good morning. Just give me 1 second, Hassan.
Oh, no, it's all good. It's all good. Speak. Go ahead.
So that's the point I always make when I hear these idiots on YouTube talking about how women are, being masculine and they don't submit. And I mentioned this on one of the shows where I was talking with Verbal, and I'm like, no, what we're seeing is the aftermath of the crack epidemic. And she was like, oh, so you're saying these are crack babies?
Yes.
I'm not necessarily saying that it's just crack babies, but it's all the people that were affected, people that grew up in group homes that didn't have parents because their parents were either in jail or dead, people that grew up without any family structure. This is the aftermath of what you're seeing. Not only the crack epidemic, but people seem to forget we had the heroin epidemic in the 70s. That hit New York pretty hard. And, a lot of the northern states.
Yeah, a lot of it, was crack babies. A lot of these crack babies who survived, imagine a baby being born, right? And already going with crying and screaming his lungs out because it's already going through withdrawal.
Sure.
Right.
Come in the world already going through withdrawal because the mother was a crack addict. Okay? And so whatever she did affected the baby. So she was a drug addict, the baby was a drug addict.
Right. And that affected a lot of kids. A lot of kids were born addicted to drugs.
Yeah.
And what do we think happened to these people? They grew up and now they're in the world.
And the sad part about it is you have some crackpots here on YouTube will listen to this video and they would think what we're talking about is funny.
No, it's not, man. It's real.
They're actually sit back and laugh about what we're talking about. Yeah.
Or they'll just say we're making an excuse for single mothers or, something that's just utterly ridiculous. You got one particular lunatic, okay, that we all know very well. He would think this is funny. Matter of fact, he would say that it's a lie that these babies were born and they were going through withdrawal. It's a lie. It's all a lie. We're all telling lies. Okay? So right now we're all sitting up here lying from the experiences that we witnessed with our own eyes. So keep that in mind. Okay? We're all going to be called liars by this particular lunatic.
Go ahead.
Right. And like when I see people that say, "Oh, let the black community burn, let the black community burn," like I don't know how you expect functioning people to come from dysfunctional situations, and most people that grow up in dysfunction think it's normal, so they're not gonna wake up one day and just stop being dysfunctional.
Right. Yeah. Let me say something. Right, Bell. Right. The reason why they say that is because it's detrimental to black people. They don't want you to think that it's hurting us. You see, when it comes down to us, they lie about everything. Okay, and they put information out there for us to read, right, and carry on to other black people. So we're basically spreading lie after lie from black person to black person to black person to black person. You have to understand, these people, right, are trying to eradicate us. So they're not going to feed us any helpful information, okay? Black people have to understand, right, your enemy, right, is not going to do anything to your benefit. They're not. That's why these coons got it wrong. Your enemy doesn't care anything about you. He's your enemy for a reason. Your enemy doesn't love you or care about you or your children. They're not going to give you any information that's going to help you. They're going to feed you one lie after another. They're going to feed you what they want to feed you. They control the media. They control all the written publications, right? And so they put out what you read. And so what you read is coming from them, and you think that it's true when it really isn't. And then what you do is you take those lies and you tell other black people, and they tell other black people, and they tell other black people, and they tell other black people. That's how these lies get spread around. And the next thing you know, we're all talking about the crack epidemic, and crack babies never affected us. Seriously? You can see the effect of what it did to us. You don't have
As you
to
said, Max, that was the nail in the coffin, brother. That was it.
Yeah. Crack is what finally broke completely the foundation of the black family. I mean, crack destroyed the black family.
It happened to me.
Right, we watched this happen right before our very eyes. I've seen families who had 13, 14 deep, right, turn into civil war overnight because of crack.
Brother, I seen it.
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen
Lay it on us. Yeah.
You know, people come on, especially in these YouTube spaces. People come on these YouTube spaces with these made-up lies. Because I'm 100% convinced that 90% of the people on YouTube are making up how they're living. They're not telling the truth about what their life really is.
What do you mean that there's no withdrawal from crack? Tell that to a crack addict.
There's definitely withdrawals from crack.
This is what I'm talking about, right? This is what I mean by they put out the propaganda that you read. They don't want you to think that none of this stuff affects you because they want you to keep doing it. They want you to keep using it because they know it's destroying you. They put it out there specifically to destroy you. And you're listening to people who put something on the street specifically to destroy you. You think that they're telling you the truth. How do you believe someone? This is what I don't understand. How the hell do you believe someone who specifically puts something on the street to destroy you? How do you believe what the fuck they're telling you?
Right. And then I tell people all the time, just look up Mena Airport. That was owned by the CIA. That was the biggest drug port in the United States.
Yep. So that goes to show you, you know what I'm saying? There was never a war on drugs because you know what? It was approved. It was
right.
approved.
It was a war on black people.
Right.
It was a war on black people.
Yes, indeed.
That's what the war of drugs was on.
Indeed.
It was a war on black people. And we have to stop. I agree with the lunatic on one thing. We have to stop believing these damn lies. They are lies. The lunatic has a point on that one. They are lies. Okay? these people are, these people are trying to, he is right about one thing. These people are out to destroy us and keep us in a permanent position to where they will constantly stay over us.
Right.
They're going to feed you every bit of fucked up information that they possibly can.
Yeah, at this
You
point,
have to understand something, right? Just by common sense alone. You don't have to be no scholar to figure this out. This is just absolute common sense. If somebody comes up to you and gives you poison, right, and you get sick, and you say, man, that poison you gave me, made me sick. I said, no, don't worry about it. It won't have no long-term effects. Here, here's some more. You're going to believe them and take some more poison after the first thing they gave you made you sick and nearly killed you? That's what we're doing.
A person that sells you crack is not your friend, man.
No.
They're not your friend.
No, not you, Bill. Not you, Bill. I'm not talking about you, Bill. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about this person named Sexy Runa. Either that's a white person or that's a black person that is completely confused.
Right, because crack may not have withdrawal symptoms like meth and heroin, but there's definitely
there's definitely withdrawal symptoms. They do go through withdrawal. Why do you think they keep doing it? If they don't go through withdrawal, right, what do you think drives them to keep doing it?
That Jones.
It's called an addiction.
For that kick. Yeah.
Right, any addiction has a withdrawal. Any medical doctor will tell you that.
Withdrawal can make you sick.
Yeah. Winos go, alcoholics go through withdrawal when they stop drinking alcohol. People who smoke cigarettes go through withdrawal when they stop smoking cigarettes. If you don't believe it, check this out. If you're a smoker, babies do, bro. Babies do go through withdrawal. There were crack babies born in the 80s, coming into this world screaming their lungs out because they were going through withdrawal because their mother was a drug addict. That's
heavy, man. Heavy.
You don't know what you're talking about. Don't come in here talking bullshit. Don't come in here with that dumb shit. Somebody, a Sexy Runa, fuck his name out, for coming in here fucking browbeating us with bullshit. Fuck you think you're talking to, man? We lived through that era. We saw shit. We saw this shit. You're talking to people who actually seen this shit with their own eyes.
Yep.
Who lived through it.
Yep.
We seen the babies. I don't give a fuck what the fuck you work with. You know what the fuck you talking about. Come here spewing your goddamn fucking ignorance. Don't come here spreading your damn ignorance. We know what the fuck we saw. We lived through that shit.
Right. And I don't know where she works with them at, but I was
definitely. The fuck she working at when she need to get fired? Or the fuck she working at? And she dancing on what the fuck she's talking about. Yes, a lot of personal experience and medical documentation. They're documented. As a matter of fact, hold on. Let me look this shit up.
Born in 1975, and I grew up in the 80s, and I saw it. I'm a witness.
We all saw it. We all saw it firsthand.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Family structure deteriorated overnight. Like, never saw nothing like that in my life. People that were once neighbors fighting each other, and it was really ugly, man. I never, you know what I mean?
Right.
Then
And not
it's
only
close to
that,
home with uncles and then your moms and everything. Like, what?
and it's not only the effects of the actual crack addictions, but it's the effects of people
Check
that
this
got
out.
caught
Check
up
this
with.
out. Check this out. Check this out. Right. Check this
Yeah.
out. Right.
What's up?
What are the symptoms? Right. Okay. Whether the baby is full term or premature, symptoms of withdrawal may begin as early as 24 to 48 fucking hours
Oh, wow.
after birth.
Post that link in the chat. Post that
Okay.
link in the
Please
chat.
do. Please.
Okay, hold on. Fucking coming in here talking fucking crazy. Here's another one. The heartbreaking withdrawal of drug-dependent newborns. Fuck you talking about. Hold on, get my computer up to, I'm gonna post the links in the chat.
That person probably posted some comments.
Check this out,
Probably
newborn babies. Check this out. Let me tell you how much, we're gonna make a fool out of this motherfucker. Newborn babies who were exposed to drugs or alcohol while in the womb, right?
Yep.
Can experience illness and can come from, hold on 1 second. Hold on, I was just reading this damn. I hate when that fucking happens. Hold on 1 second.
Well, while you're looking that up, I also want to just throw this in there because they don't only go through withdrawal symptoms, but they also suffer from weakened immune systems. So they're prone to all kinds of sicknesses. A lot of them ended up with pneumonia.
Yes.
The heartbreaking withdrawal of drug-dependent newborns. Fucking tell me. Talking about she what the fuck you working with. Damn, my computer running slow today. Fucking Google bugging. I hate it when I get excited and shit take too fucking long. Okay, here we go. I'm putting the link right here in the fucking chat. Right now, motherfucker. For your dumb ass. Boom, here's the link right there, motherfucker. Read it and weep. Stupid motherfucker, you don't know what the fuck you talking about. They don't just go to withdrawals on crack. They go withdrawals on drugs, period. Why? All of it, motherfucker. And coming here spreading ignorance, motherfucker. We got the receipts. You talking to people who live through this shit.
Yes, sir.
Coming here with that stupid shit. See, that's what I'm talking about, man. Okay? They fucking take the goddamn lies and they spread them from one black person to another black person. Like I said, I get a lunatic credit on one fucking thing. You gotta stop fucking believing what they tell us. You gotta do the research yourself. These newborn babies experience everything. Talking about they don't go through no goddamn withdrawal. You stupid motherfucker.
People that smoke weed go through withdrawal.
Yeah. People who smoke cigarettes go through withdrawal.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Talking about there's no fucking withdrawal from crack. Matter of fact, let me debunk that too. I hate it when motherfuckers come in here fucking trying to spew nonsense and shit. Let me debunk your dumb ass on that too. They got an article right there, heartbreaking withdrawal of drug-dependent newborns. In your face, you dumb motherfucker. That's just one article. I got more.
Well, bring it, brother. Bring it.
Hold on, I'm trying to get this.
Oh, that's
right
cool.
now. Okay, check this out. Before I post this, listen to this. Listen to this, Sexy Runa. Nobody blocked that person, did they? Sexy Runa, you said people, there's no withdrawal symptoms from crack, right? Check this out. Someone addicted to crack cocaine has developed physical and psychological dependencies on it and will experience withdrawal symptoms when quitting. I'm about to post a link in the chat, about to hit you with the motherfucking receipt in your goddamn face.
And any crack,
This is why you don't fucking play.
any crackhead could bear witness to that, because they be on a mission. When they like get sick from that withdrawal, they be on a cold mission, and they'll do anything to get that.
Link. This is why you don't come in here and play with me, motherfucker. I got receipts. I ain't like that lunatic y'all used to listen to over there at Real Whack Radio. I don't just make shit up. I got receipts, motherfucker. It says right there in your face that people.
Receipts and all experiences from all three.
Coming here with that spreading fucking ignorance. This ain't Real Whack Radio. Go over there with that shit. We on our game over here. We got receipts. Talking about motherfuckers who smoke crack don't go through withdrawal. The fuck? Come on, but really?
And the point about that is, what were you trying? What was that person trying to accomplish by saying that? Are you saying that, oh, we should go smoke crack because we're not gonna have withdrawals? Like, I don't.
Yeah, that's exactly what they do, because they're working for white. They're working for white folks. See, white folks gonna tell you that shit that's harming you is not harming you because they're trying to destroy you.
Right.
I don't want to sound like Real Whack Radio, but the lunatic actually has a point. They are trying to destroy us, right? They're not going to tell you anything that's good for you. Are you fucking crazy? They're trying to get rid of you. Why would they tell you something? Use your common sense. If someone is trying to get rid of you, why would they tell you something that's going to help you? That's going to impede them trying to get rid of you. Why would they do that?
They wouldn't.
No, they wouldn't. They're going to tell you every goddamn line of the book to make you think what they're doing to you isn't happening to you, which is killing you.
And they can't kill us all, but they ultimately want to remove us. Ultimately.
Exactly. They want to put you in a permanent position like a slave. Coming in here with that bullshit. Yo, I work with these, but where the fuck you working at? Apparently you ain't doing a good job because you don't know shit. How are people like this working in a medical facility? They don't even know shit. How is someone working with crack people and don't know that people who are on crack, right, experience withdrawal symptoms when they quit? That's qualified medical personnel now? Dude, the fucking links are right there. Dude, the receipts are right here. Read the goddamn receipts. The fuck are you talking about? There's a big ass fucking article right there. What the fuck you think crack is? Crack is a drug, you dumb motherfucker. Talking about they don't experience symptoms from crack, right? Other drugs, yes. Crack, other drugs? What the fuck? The hell you think crack is? You hear this shit? I mean, you see this shit? Of the drugs, like crack isn't a drug. What is crack then? Aspirin?
I'll tell you what crack is. The biological chemical warfare that was used against us.
Don't you know crack has a cocaine base? Is it cocaine a drug? How do they make crack? They cook cocaine, you dumbass. Is it cocaine a drug?
Rock ready? Planet Rock?
Withdrawal symptoms, you know, other drugs, yes. Like crack isn't a drug. Hey, you know, look. The receipts are right there. Read the goddamn receipts, okay? You dumb mother. What the fuck are you talking about? The receipts are right there. Hey, sexy, you know, Roma, I'm trying to not be vicious, but you continue to spew bullshit when we have receipts that are debunking everything you say. Now, if you continue on this, I'm gonna have you thrown out of here. The links are right there in the chat. Read the fucking receipts. The links, I posted the links to debunk your shit. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, and you shouldn't be working in the medical field. Scroll up. The links are right there in the chat. The receipts are right there. And those are just two. There are many more. I can keep posting. As a matter of fact, let me post another one. What is crack cocaine withdrawal? Someone addicted to crack cocaine has developed a physical and psychological dependency on it, will experience withdrawal symptoms when quitting. Hey, what does that sound like to you, OG?
Repeat that again, sir?
Let me read this one more time.
Okay, go ahead.
It says, what is crack withdrawal? Someone addicted to crack cocaine has developed a physical and psychological dependency on it and will experience withdrawal symptoms when quitting.
I agree with that because I've seen it. I've seen it in manifestation, man. I've seen that. And we all seen it.
Now check this out.
We can bear witness to that receipt and the truth of that receipt.
Now, check this out. This is coming from the Addiction Center. I'm gonna put the link in the chat one more time, okay? For this dumbass, okay? This is coming from the Addiction Center that deals with, okay, treatment. This is a treatment specialist. They specialize in dealing with addiction, right? It also says crack cocaine is more concentrated from the powder cocaine. Because of crack's potency, withdrawal from it is often more intense.
Intense, yep. Facts. That manifested right before our eyes.
Now, check this out. Here is the nail in the coffin, okay? Crack cocaine use causes changes in the brain and the body's nervous system. When someone addicted to crack stops using it, their body must go through an adjustment period to relearn how to function without crack cocaine in their system. That right there is called fucking withdrawal. You dumb motherfucker.
Yeah. Yo, Max, first lady, I'm about to dip. You know what I mean?
Okay,
I'm about to, you know what I mean, tap out. But, you know what I mean? I'm going to catch y'all later.
Okay, man. Okay, OG.
All right, bro. Peace, y'all. Peace.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't know what that person's purpose is.
Be listening to Real Lunatic Radio. Tell too many fucking lies. Believe every goddamn thing Real Lunatic is saying. But you see, you've just been debunked. Now, if you continue on this course of action, I'm going to throw you the fuck up out of here. Because now you're becoming a troll. Just prove that you don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Got receipts right here. And if you're working in the medical field, God help the people that you're working with. Because you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. The receipts just debunk you. You don't even know what the fuck withdrawal is, and you're working in a goddamn medical field. That should be a crime. You should go to jail for that. Now, it's important because you come in here spewing ignorance, talking about you work with someone, so you have no idea who the fuck you're talking to, my friend. This is why you don't fucking play with me. I bring receipts. I don't just talk out of the side of my fucking ass like Real Lunatic Radio. I got receipts. Now, as you can see, the receipts debunk everything you said and expose you as a dumbass who don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And if you are working in the medical field, God help the people you're working with. Again, you know what? Get the fuck out of here, man. Get this motherfucker out of here. Stupid motherfucker. The goddamn troll. Fuck out of here. That dumb shit. Just prove to this motherfucker and still say, motherfuckers don't know when to take an L. You, okay? You're lost. You came here and you tried me and you lost. Don't continue to troll my chat. Have some dignity about it. You got debunked. Have some dignity about it. Keep your mouth shut and don't troll my chat. I don't like that. Anyway, getting back to a more serious matter. Yeah, we were talking about domestic violence and we veered off into drugs and some fool came in here talking about they know what they, babies don't go through withdrawal and all this other stuff. We just proved otherwise. But Nick, you still there? Nick, are you still there? Everybody, this is the Maximum Overdrive, third gear. I am Maximum Black, aka the Urban Knight. Getting ready for the holidays, everybody. We're talking a little bit about domestic violence. We got a little sidetracked by a troll that came in here, pretending to act like they knew something. We just exposed that they don't. We pulled out the receipts, exposed this person for a fraud, and then the person continued to troll the chat after they've been exposed as a fraud. And we don't like trolls in here, so we had to excommunicate this person from this channel. And the receipts are there. I posted them in the chat room for everybody to look at to expose this person for a fraud. This is what I was talking about before, people, about how we have to stop listening to people who are trying to kill us. And I hate to credit Real Lunatic Radio, but he has a point. These people are trying to kill us. Why are we listening to what they tell us? If someone is trying to kill you, they will never tell you the truth because they're trying to kill you. So anyway, I'm going to wait for the first day to come back, and then me and her are going to say a few things, and we're going to wrap it up. And we'll probably be back on tomorrow night. We're not going to stream tonight. Taking a little bit of a break because we got kind of burned out. So what are you guys doing, man? Everybody's gearing up for Christmas, getting ready to watch Frosty the Snowman and have a white Christmas. You guys ever thought about that song, I'm Dreaming of a White Christmas? How ironic is that? Actually, I don't celebrate Christmas, but I kind of like the, I do like the idea of people exchanging gifts. I think that's pretty cool. I mean, other than that, I don't really get into Christmas. I haven't celebrated Christmas since I was a kid. You find out that Santa Claus isn't real. You find out that Santa Claus is actually mommy and daddy. You'd be like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So, no, I don't do the Christmas thing. But I do like the idea of giving people gifts and shit. And regardless of how we adults may feel about it, sometimes we have to take into consideration how little kids feel. Little kids want to play with toys. They want to. The little kids, they're not into all of this shit that we're into as adults. They don't care about Satan Claus and all that shit. I do tell you one thing though. A fat man coming down a chimney, isn't that burglary? Isn't that breaking and entering and shit? You sleep and a fat white dude is on your goddamn roof trying to fit his ass down a goddamn chimney into your house. And take cookies and milk or whatever off of your table, right? And basically what they do is they cover up the burglary with him leaving toys and gifts. That's bullshit. That is called breaking and entering and stealing. Coming into someone's home through the chimney. If that's the case, why didn't he just go through the front door? Oh my God, dude, did y'all click on the link? Matter Jackson, the links are right there. Are you guys reading the damn receipts? I posted the receipts in the chat. You can click on them and read them. I can't believe it. Did you even read any of the links I put in the chat? So like I was saying, getting back to Santa Claus, think about that for a second. You got a strange white man that you don't know, you've never seen, right? Breaking and entering your home. And they cleverly cover this up by putting them in a red suit. See, this is why you talking about Western philosophy, right? It's about misdirection. That's misdirection. Okay? The red suit with the white trim, right? That's bright. That catches your attention. That's distracting, right? The ho ho ho, that's all misdirection. The reindeers, all that is misdirection. The big sack of toys, that's all misdirection. They're covering up the fact that it's breaking and entering and burglarizing. Someone comes into your home without your consent and takes something. I don't give a fuck if it's a potato chip. That is burglary, people. But they cover it up very nicely, right? By deceiving you. I've always said Western philosophy is about misdirection and deception. This is how they get a lot of stuff by you psychologically by way of misdirection and deception. And they make you think that Santa Claus has good intentions. Santa Claus is nothing but a burglar. You see, you think he's bringing you toys with that big sack, right? Well, what's really going on is that he's coming into your house with an empty sack and leaving with a big sack. That's what they're covering up. Santa Claus is a burglar, people. He breaks and enters people's homes, and he takes things and put them in a big sack, and then he leaves in his getaway car. You know, Santa's sleigh, reindeers, which is his method of transportation, the way he gets away from burglarizing people's homes. And Santa Claus is no different than a well-known criminal. You know, when you have a criminal on the loose that's well-known, he usually has a name. You know, remember Bonnie and Clyde? They were well-known criminals. Remember John Dillinger, Billy the Kid, Doc Holliday, and all of them? These were well-known criminals. Santa Claus is no different. Santa Claus is Billy the Kid. He's Doc Holliday. He's John Dillinger. John Dillinger was so cold, the FBI blew his ass away on sight. When they caught up to that mofo, they just started shooting. In front of any give a fuck who was watching, they just started shooting. They lit John Dillinger up like a Christmas tree. And I believe they got him in the lobby of some kind of hotel, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it was outside of a movie theater.
Oh, okay, it was outside of a movie theater. Yeah, he was cold, but FBI wasn't playing no games with him. They lit his ass up. I was just telling them the story of Santa Claus and how it's deceiving. Like I said before, Nick, about Western philosophy. Western philosophy is about misdirection and deception.
Right.
Santa Claus, think about this. You got a fat white man, which really isn't a fat white man. Okay? Think about a fat white man going down a chimney. That's not going to happen. See, that's called misdirection.
And you know what's so powerful about these things that they indoctrinate our kids with? Like, I've never promoted Santa Claus to my kids. I've never told them that was a real thing. That has never been something that says, you know, I remember years ago watching Dick Gregory. This is before I even had kids, and he was breaking that down, like how we All the things we work hard to provide for our kids, we give the credit to white men. Like, what does that psychologically do to our children?
Well, yeah, you know,
And
it
then
makes
we
them
see
think
why we
that,
got all this white worship going on. When you got all these black men on talking about, oh, you know, Becky is the
yeah,
way.
yeah.
We
You
talk
see, what
about
is,
ourselves as Becky. That's from childhood. All the white worship we do. But
yeah,
even
what it
with me
does
telling
is,
my kids,
it conditions you psychologically to trust white people, even when they're breaking the law.
right,
See, Santa Claus, right? Going down the chimney, which really isn't really a fat white man. Okay, that's just misdirection. Going down the chimney, which is really breaking and entering because he's entering
right,
someone's home without their consent. People, I don't give a fuck if you go into someone's home and take a fucking newspaper. That is called burglary. Okay, you entered someone's home without their consent. And the misdirection is that he's coming in there with a bag of gifts, taking something and leaving the toys behind. No. What they're really covering up for the fact that it's a white man who slides down the chimney, breaks into your home with an empty sack, takes shit, throws it in the sack, and beats it out of there. And gets
right,
into his getaway car, which is his reindeer, the Santa's sleigh, and all that. Okay? Santa Claus is really a it's burglary, and it's designed for you to trust white people even when they're breaking the law. If a
right. And if
white man
black
comes to
people
your
really
door right
knew,
now, you will open your door wide because you've been conditioned to trust it.
right, and if black people really knew where Santa Claus came from, they would stop promoting that shit to their kids off GP. Where it comes
Okay.
from Holland and German, where he was a saint, Saint, what, how do they say it? Klaus. That's where Santa Claus comes from. Saint Klaus. He was a Catholic saint that was like killing people, and he had a black slave, and that's where the code comes from. They said if you were naughty, then Black Pete. Black Pete is the name of the slave. Black Pete will come and punish you. So he had a black slave as a henchman.
Hmm. You said Black Pete.
Yeah, Black Pete. And every Christmas, like right now, all the people in Holland and in Germany and all those Dutch people dress up. Black Pete looks like an elf and they do blackface. That's where that tradition comes from.
Wow, look at all these.
People dressed in
Wow.
blackface, right?
Yeah. Christmas character. Hold on, let me put the link. Let me drop the link to that. First Lady Unique is on her. She is on it, man. This the story right here. They call him Zeta Pete too.
Yeah,
Zeta Pete. Yeah, Zeta Pete. Black Pete, who was the racist Christmas character, sparking clashes in the Netherlands. They put it all on Black Pete because he was the slave.
Right.
They don't want to talk about St. Claus himself, which is where Santa Claus came from, right? Let me put that in the chat. There's the link right there. You guys can read on it. Hold on, damn, I hate when this happens.
Yeah, while you're putting that in there, what I was saying earlier about my own children is they still try to tell me like there's a Santa Claus. And I'm like, no, because they just see it everywhere we go. Every store you go into, like my kids don't watch TV like that because I don't really allow them to watch too much TV, but it's everywhere. It's not just the TV.
There go the link to what First Lady is talking about. I didn't even know I heard of Black Pete. a long time ago, but I never really followed it up. So I know you accurate on that. I did hear about him years ago, but never really followed it up. Somebody told me about, but they didn't say anything about St. Klaus, you know. And here they don't mention St. Klaus here. They want to put it all on Black Pete.
Right.
He was a slave, you know what I'm saying? And so, yeah, so again, Western philosophy is about misdirection and deception. It's about misdirection and deception, people. So there go the link right there. You guys can have fun. Okay, first lady about to get on out of here. You, if I don't, we'll be in Discord pretty much all day. So Discord will be open 24 hours. So we'll be hanging around in there. Not going live tonight. I'm taking a break. I got burnt out, and we'll probably be back tomorrow night and do a Christmas Eve show tomorrow night. And so we'll see you guys then. Okay. All right, first thing about to get out of here. Okay. You want to say anything else before we close down the show?
No, just everybody enjoy the rest of their day. If you're celebrating Christmas, so I guess have a good Christmas. I don't know if I'll be on tomorrow. If I don't come on, I'll definitely be listening in.
Oh yeah, we probably do a Christmas Eve show. Okay. All right, everybody. Remember, the power is in the black. Black is the people, and therein lies the power. Talk to y'all later. Enjoy whatever you want to call a holiday. Okay. We'll see you later. Peace.